welcome to the studio. I'm Tiffany Williams, and today's lesson we're going to be talking about underpaintings. So there's a lot of questions out there about why you would want to use an underpainting. I don't always use them in my paintings. It really just depends on what I'm going for, but there's essentially 4 reasons to use an underpainting. So the first reason is that they can help ground your work. And this is especially important if you're working on something like a landscape that's actually connected to the ground. Having that underpainting there can bring that sense of weight to your painting. A second reason to use an underpainting is it brings some life and some sparkle to your work. It can add in pops of color that might not otherwise be there if you were just painting on just a plain white or sand colored surface. The third reason that we use an underpainting is it can actually change the mood or the atmosphere of your painting. And the last reason that I like to use an underpainting is it can actually change the way we perceive the colors that are in your palette. And this is really helpful if you have a limited palette. You can play around with an underpainting to create colors that you actually don't have. Not by mixing the colors, but by tricking the eye to think that they're seeing a color that's not really there. So I'm going to be demonstrating all 4 of these types of underpaintings today. The full video is up on my Patreon channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing an edited version of it. But if you would like to see the full version, head on over to my Patreon. And it's only $7 a month to become a Patreon. And I do have some free resources there as well. So go check it out. All right, so let's get started. All right, so this first set of underpaintings I'm doing, these are to show how an underpainting can ground your work. I'm doing a little landscape here. You can see it off on the left. And I have 2 different ones I'm doing. So this is just one sheet of paper, but I'm doing 2 at the same time. The top underpainting is a dark orange, and the bottom one is a dark violet. And I'm just putting on soft pastel, and I'm just rubbing it in with the paintbrush. This is one of many ways that you can apply an underpainting. I do have an article on my Patreon page if you'd like to learn more about the different types of underpaintings that you can do. So now I am going in with my pastels to do the actual painting, and I'm using the same color pastels for every single painting I do during this tutorial. So just putting in the sky there first, and now I'm blocking in the grass at the bottom of the landscape. And I am doing a very simple painting here. I'm not trying to go all out and create a masterpiece, but just to show you the basics of how underpaintings work. So I'm putting in some of the warmer greens near the top of the grassy field, and then the cooler greens in the bottom right corner, just to kind of mimic the way the light is hitting the field in the reference photo. Adding a little bit more warmth there in the back. And now I am putting in the tree line, just reinforcing that a little bit. And now I'm using a green that's in between warm and cool. I just kind of tried to blend the areas together. And then in the front of the photo, there is a little bit of a lighter area of grass, so that's what I added there. And now I'm just adding a little bit more to the sky. I'm trying to get my colors to the point where they are starting to blend themselves and not so much blending with my fingers. You can see here I am doing a little blending with my fingers, but I'm doing it very, very lightly. Just trying to get rid of the big patches of the underpainting that are showing through, but wanting to leave some of it. So as you can see, I'm doing most of the blending in the front. The closer you are to the camera or to your point of view, the more the underpainting looks a little distracting. It's not as visually appealing. And then I'm just doing a little bit of blending also in the sky, but leaving that orange and the purple to show through, because this is creating a really nice effect in the sky. It's, you know, bringing some interesting tones there. So again, just using a very, very light touch, leaving some of that purple showing through, especially around the tree line. It just brings a very interesting look to it. So here you can see how the two different colors made a whole different effect on the way the painting looks. The top one has more of a maybe late afternoon feel to it, and the bottom one was a little bit cooler. All right, so on to the second one. So this is to demonstrate using an underpainting to bring pops of color. So I applied the underpaintings the same way. These are both soft pastel, just brushed in into the paper with a brush. And as you can see, I have a bright yellow on top, the magenta on the bottom. And I'm just repeating the process, just creating the same painting again. And you'll be able to see as this painting progresses, how those colors, the colors of the underpainting, are having an effect on the overall painting. You know, that purple or that pink there, it really brings brightness and some energy to it, a really nice bright sparkle. And the yellow does the same thing, but it's a completely different feeling that it's creating. So again, just working the pastels in the same way, warmer in the back, a little cooler in the front, reinforcing the tree line, just blending. And then we'll zoom in a second here and get you a close-up of what these two look like. All right, so now we're looking at the pink one first, and you can see that pink just kind of sparkling through in the tree line and the sky and the grasses. I did do a little bit of blending up in front. Doesn't look like I did any in the sky. And you can leave those colors wherever you want, just to add that nice pop of color there. And here's the yellow, and you can see it looks much brighter, maybe a little more cheerful. The yellow in the sky, it just really makes it look like a nice sunny day. So this time I'm using two different colors for the underpainting. So the top one, I'm using a nice turquoise for the sky and a deep rusty reddish brown for the ground. And the second one, I'm using a bright yellow for the sky and a lilac or a lighter purple for the ground. So you can use different colors anywhere you want in your underpainting. It doesn't have to be divided by sky and ground. You know, you can really get creative with your underpainting and put the colors where you think they're going to make the most difference. So right away here, you can see the difference in the two skies. The top sky looks a lot darker because of that turquoise underpainting, and the bottom sky looks much brighter, like it's a brighter, sunnier day. And now putting in that warm green, you can also see that the top one, that green looks a lot darker and heavier. And the bottom one, it's looking lighter. And then as I put in the warm green. And I think with the warm green, you can really see the difference in terms of just how it's making the two paintings feel very, very different. So I'm just going to keep working on this just like I did the first two. And I realized at this point that I hadn't put the dark green in on the grass area, and I had forgotten to do the tree line. It's still a valuable lesson though, because you can still see the difference that underpainting is making in terms of how the grass and the sky are feeling. So now I'm doing that same very light blending technique, still letting that underpainting show through. This cool area in the front is a little too much of the underpainting is showing. So I just add a little bit more green there just to warm it up a little bit more. Now, if you look at the two, you can really see a difference between the top one and the bottom one now, where that dark rusty orange made a huge difference in how that top painting is looking. And same thing with the two different sky colors. All right, so this is a really fun exercise to do. I have 6 different underpainting colors, and I am putting the same shade of teal or turquoise green over each color. And if you look at them, you can definitely see how the underpainting is affecting that green color that I put on top. If you look at that dark rusty one, that green looks very cool compared to the dark purple next to it. The green looks a little bit warmer. And then the green directly below looks a little cooler. So that underpainting, and this is number 4, is how an underpainting can change the look of the colors you're putting on top of it, and how if you have a limited palette, you can use an underpainting and sometimes a real gentle blending or cross hatching. There's a lot of different ways that you can apply multiple layers of different colors on your paper to end up with different colors than what you actually have in your palette. So this is just another example of how we can use that underpainting to affect the colors that our eyeballs are seeing and the overall mood of the painting. So thanks for joining me. I hope this lesson was helpful. And like I said, if you want to see the entire unedited version, head on over to my Patreon channel. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, click the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Take care.